Hello everyone, welcome back to Recycling Station. Many friends have had to endure hearing the sound of chainsaws causing ringing in their ears. The obsession of only hearing the sound of a chainsaw. Dare to fight fear. Then together we will face our fears. Fear of disassembly. Fix fear. PhD, Master of Bucket Repair. The joy of damaged objects. Let's fix this error with Recycling Station. Advise old friends who remain. In the video, he has begun intensive disassembly. Work. This is a machine from Sweden. Tanspans Meko in 1961. Launch of fuel-powered saws. The specific model is Companion Ms. 1. Back to video. Let's analyze this old lighter. Like a male saw, it is based on single cylinder 2 in the middle. The middle engine is the main body. Create an extension and match it to a guide plate. Accessories such as chain clamps and more. It is said that a chainsaw is a multi-purpose tool, mainly used for logging. About how many uses there are. You can also refer to the movie. Mainstream color film and television works. Remove the right high voltage pack. After cooling the flywheel and magnet. What is being disassembled now is the left side. Centrifugal clutch with 3 throwing arms. Assembly instructions and chains. Outside of him, there is another beginning. The starter plate has been removed, although the engine here is relatively independent. If the built-in veneers are on the left and right sides of the fence, if we look at it together, can be considered. Crankshaft side covers on the left and right sides of the engine. Entire engine power generation system, clutch oil line, etc. All are gathered onto collector box covers. What needs to be disassembled now is the single cylinder as the core, air-cooled engines and longevity. Its displacement is 77 cc in terms of distance parameters, with 5,800 diamonds. Can produce the strongest power of 3.9 horsepower. Can be seen. The cylinder head is filled with carbon deposits. Cover. Insufficient combustion is a common problem in poor exhaust grades. Some situations are unavoidable. After removing the cylinder, can be found. The condition inside is quite good. This is the magic carburetor. Him and us. This lucky stone is often found on motorbikes. The difference between carburetors is quite large. We will talk about the specific situation later. Finally disassemble the revolver for him. Remove the crankshaft. Then this disassembly job will be completed successfully. If this family can destroy their fear, it won't be so scary anymore. In accordance with international practices, before taking any corrective action, all parts need to be checked once. Clean thoroughly. To completely remove carbon deposits inside the engine, Mr. Kiao used a special cleaning solution and ultrasonic cleaners for treatment. Then the other parts will be in the bidet. Clean up. After some processing time, all parts are basically clean, and after cleaning this disc oil changer, Mr. Kiao found himself unharmed, is operating normally. This definitely saves a lot of time. Then the other parts, then with the help of sandblasting machine, perform secondary cleaning, completely removed old paint and signs of oxidation and corrosion. So the spray material used this time is quartz sand is also used to prevent damage to parts. He also placed another one, adjusted to a relatively mild 0.6 megapascals. Also, when handling engine parts, Mr. Jiao replaced glass beads as the spray material and adjust the air pressure to less than 0.4 megapascals. The sandblasting process has ended successfully. See the surface texture of these parts. He was very satisfied. So next step, he will do some research on the painted sisters. Requires complete painting. Use a dehumidifier first to remove oil and stains. Then use the beautiful mosquito. Cover areas that do not need to be painted. Go to the above. The first step is of course to spray on a coat of anti-rust primer. After the background air dries, it can be seen that the fuel tank is partially dented. It is necessary to use quicklime to treat fillings, and this fuel tank has 2 feeding ports. Corresponds to gasoline and engine oil respectively. As for why you need more engine oil, trust, students who regularly watch videos about wheat should know that. The landscape also needs to be filled with the main cover. Wait for the atomic ash to dry and become even. Concentrate. Brother sprayed the paint booth door with 2 layers of color number red area model 3.01 and a high gloss varnish. While waiting for the paint to dry, Chaco will be in charge of guiding the series. The guide plate will use 30% hydrochloric acid to perform storage and repair processes, and the broken chain cannot be used anymore, can only be replaced. After 20 minutes of waiting, the rust has been completely removed. Then go back to the studio. Carry out surface grinding and dowel processing. First sand with 240 wood sand. After removing scratches and oxidation stains, reuse water from 340 wood and 800 wood sand for polishing to get a smoother surface texture. Convenient for gold plating and subsequent anti-rust treatment. Hydrogen electroplating is similar to conventional plating cracks, but it's best before doing that. Wash the bolts first to completely remove grease. Make this instruction sheet. Jock has also plated these accessories with gold to prevent rust, painting process, and effects of red paint line. Also quite good. Mr. Q is below. Processed. It was the boot disc that was removed at first. The market situation is quite healthy, except the drawstring needs to be replaced. There are no problems with other parts. Take out your watch. The guy is using degreaser to clean it. And the base and lid after cleaning. Mr. Kiao gave us a coat of paint, black metallic paint. This type of paint can be applied directly without primer. Use on metal parts, and can play a very good protective role. Wait for the cut surface to dry. Knock can use an electric drill and an ice cone as a base. New salary. Threaded gate. Mainly due to original screw damage. Differences in subject specifications. So, we can just do it again. Then you can. The customer portion that has been processed is reprocessed. Assemble. And replace it with a brand new starter zipper. This boot pull disc will then be processed. Can be seen. After treatment the results will be as good as new. The texture of painting with a brush is also quite unique. These two people are the people that he worked so hard to build. Original exhaust and power found. But it turns out these two parts are not there. Square exhaust pipe. After entering the rust cleaning process with hydrochloric acid. Galvanized. Sure, the corresponding regularization has also been performed in advance. And this green air filter housing. The younger brother decided to do something with him. Polished and four-sided polish. After sanding, use a low wooden comb to remove scratches. Then use 1200 wood sand to sand smooth. Fold into 3 or to meticulously polish rings. Get a shiny mirror effect. How do you feel about the effects of this treatment? It feels like magic. Besides, these small details are also polished. Now all parts of this post office, all has been processed, can enter the final assembly process. The first thing to assemble is S core engine part. After replacing new bearings, you can arrange the crankshaft in place, then apply glue. You can separate the left and right parts of the crankcase. Combine. Of course, the screws here also need to be tightened. According to the standard, a torque of 8 meters of twist is required here. Piston and cylinder parts can be installed below. According to data display, the diameter of this piston is 50 millimeters. Forms to 40 millimeters. By the way, this pad is Mr. Kiao. Cut by hand. Also, gaskets on the cylinder head. The corner mesh has also been replaced. Torque here is also 8 Nm. This is a loose cylinder air bolt. Comes from oil and gas. Mixed with gas. It will enter the cylinder through this valve. Thus burned. Let's talk about this diaphragm carburetor. What is the biggest difference between it and a floating grease carburetor? That's because it comes with an oil pump structure. This is also the case with most chainsaws. The main reason people choose grinding plate carburetors, because it saves space. After all, this fuel tank only has a capacity of 1 liter. What if we had another oil pump? It will take up more space. The reason why this carburetor can be achieved, oil pump function, based on negative pressure pipeline combined with carburetor. Negative pressure pipes are exactly what the name suggests. That is through taking the movement of the piston in the ball box. Negative pressure caused by. Leave the diaphragm in the carburetor. Exercise regularly with negative pressure, thus realizing the function of oil exploitation. In addition, conventional carburetors are relatively small in size, but the structure is relatively complicated. In general, as long as it is not damaged, there is no need to dismantle it, because as long as you take it off, it will definitely affect the sealing inside the machine, thus affecting overall performance. This is why he saw that its appearance was still intact. One of the main reasons why it was not demolished. Grinding plate carburetor, of course, due to its own structural problems. It is not suitable for use on large displacement engines. So the carburetor on a motorcycle, generally, they are fat floating. Another thing is the chainsaw because it has so many uses, often used at unexpected angles. Therefore, embossed paper carburetors are not suitable here. On the contrary, it is a vacuum membrane. Regardless of whether you are sawing forward or backward, it can have a very good oil pulling effect. Back to video. The finishing and assembly work has also come to an end. Later, there is a way to connect numbers. Install the 2 outer protective covers and the power supply. Then the main part is assembled. Then finally you just need to remove the guide plate and newly purchased chain and install the boot disc. Then this guy told me, Swedish Software Legacy 1966. The restore is officially complete. Look back at the 2 images before and after lens restoration. Contrast. I must say this is a perfect recovery. Chocolate handled all the details quite well. Now comes the final color step. Chocolate can be wrapped around the material gun. Add gasoline and engine oil accordingly. Fuel preparation is complete. Now is the time to witness the miracle. It looks like it will be very successful. Listen to this sound. Afraid that he will come back without any doubt. That's all for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Joy and love are especially good. I want to say goodbye to everyone together. Thank you again for coming to Recycling Station. Happy donating.